Hello and welcome to another podcast episode of Nourish You with me, your host, Salema. This week, I'm going to explore the impermanence of vision, the risks of changing hormones and imbalances on how we see. This week, that's your invitation to nourishment, where we will touch on the following aspects. We'll explore a Zen perspective on vision. I'll give you a personal experience on vision during menopause. I'll give you some warning biomarkers for vision during menopause. We'll explore the science of menopause and vision and the connections, and how you should advocate for your vision with your healthcare provider and doctor and optometrist. I'll give you some solutions for menopausal dry eyes and ocular allergies, and I'll finish off with some reflections on the emotional and spiritual aspect of changing vision. True vision, then, is not merely about the eyes perceiving forms, but instead about the mind seeing reality as it is. Without illusion, distortion, or attachment, in the Zen philosophy, this is the essence of kenshō, the direct experience of one's true nature. When we look at the world through the filters of desire, fear, or expectation, we do not truly see, but instead we project. A clouded mind is like a rippling pond, unable to reflect reality clearly. But when the mind is still, our awareness sharpens and we begin to perceive the impermanent, interconnected nature of all things. Master Dojin teaches that to see deeply, one must let go of the self, the I, that clings and distorts. The great paradox here is that the more we try to grasp clarity, the further it often slips away. Instead, through presence and meditation, quiet time, we can allow our senses, including vision, to emerge naturally, just like the moon reflected in still water, bright and clear and ever inspiring. In this way, true vision is not about looking forward or backward, but instead noticing and fully inhabiting this moment where all truth resides. This week, as I moved between appointments with my eye patients out on the road, I found myself drawn to taking some moments to absorb nature. It was a beautiful sunny day, as you'll see from the picture at the top of this post, if you're reading it on Substack or on the app. Just pausing to reflect on how deeply interconnected our vision is with both our physical and emotional well-being. Which really, that experience led me to reflect on the impermanence of our vision and how changes we may experience also may not be so easy to diagnose. And I'll give you my personal experience of that, which more or less came to a head after I had taken a moment to absorb nature and really what was going on with my vision. So the personal example here is, as I just said, my vision had been changing quite a bit in the last few weeks, but mainly came to a head over the last few days. What I noticed was that I had increased light sensitivity and my eyes were feeling gritty and a bit sore. And initially, I just put this down to the weather because here in the UK, we've had very warm, sunny, bright weather, but we've also had dampness and some rain. And with that, obviously, you get increased levels of pollen. However, something still did not feel quite right. And I always believe when you know, women are intuitively great at knowing when something is wrong with their bodies, go and get it seen straight away. So after wearing varifocal contact lenses and glasses for the past few years from single vision, because my vision had worsened somewhat, I felt that I didn't need any aid for reading now, but instead just for distance and intermediate, which is actually normally the other way around when we age. We need more aid with reading and less with distance. But here's the real twister. After a last-minute visit to my optometrist on Thursday night, I discovered that my eyesight had actually improved. in less than a year. It appears that I'm now much less short-sighted, but leaning more towards monovision, which basically means one eye can see distance, one eye can see reading, but because the prescription is so similar, you can put a reading prescription in one eye and a distance in the other, and the brain and the eyes will give you the clarity. Although my optom couldn't give me a real definite answer if this was linked to my hormone changes or just aging, I'm thinking, but surely we need to put the two together, don't we? If we're aging, we've got shifts in our hormones, and hormones are related to vision in some aspect. So let's have a look at some biomarkers for vision then. And here I'm going to give you some menopausal related eye symptoms which you should be aware of to look out for. And basically, these include light sensitivity and increased discomfort in bright environments, including when you're outside, dry eyes due to reduced tear production, because as estrogen declines, we have reduced tear production. It affects that directly. Allergies and hay fever. Did you know that your hormone shifts can heighten inflammatory responses brought on by allergies such as hay fever, as well as ocular allergies? So if you have blepharitis, you can get more of that, just to give you an example. The science of menopause and eyes. So what really happens to our eyes as our hormone levels change in age? Well, during menopause, we experience obviously declining levels of estrogen and androgen hormones, which impact the structure and the function of the eye's tear producing glands. I call them LMM. So the lacrimal glands, they produce the watery layer of tears, and you may, if you're experiencing a reduction in output, that can lead to the dryness and irritation. The meibomian glands, and I probably said that wrong because I always say it wrong, they produce the oily layer of tears. And those are the ones which may become inflamed or clogged. And when they do, that reduces the oil flow and the acceleration of tear evaporation. And then mucin production, nice easy one to pronounce, helps tears spread evenly. Basically, mucin helps eye spread evenly over the eye. But if it's affected also, it can lead to poor tear film stability. That might mean that you sometimes experience like white flashes of light, like a zigzag, like a line sometimes on the lens of the eye. The main thing here to be concerned about, and if you notice any of these symptoms getting worse, then you run the risk of getting dry eye disease, DED. And basically, it makes your eyes feel sore, irritated, sometimes excessively watery due to the reflex tearing and the body's attempt to compensate for dryness. The link between dry eyes and hay fever in menopause. So, did you know also, in addition to direct hormonal effects, menopause can also heighten sensitivity, as I just basically touched upon, allergens and histamines. Fluctuating estrogen levels can increase inflammation and immune system hyperreactivity, making women in menopause much more prone to seasonal allergies and ocular allergies. This could be something like conjunctivitis, red eye, blepharitis. And when this happens, you get redness, itching, burning, swollen, puffy eyelids, or you get an increased tearing or mucus discharge even. You may even notice something yucky like that. So the key thing I've learned, speaking to other experts here, is that be aware when you go to your normal go-to traditional antihistamines to manage the allergies that you think you might have. If in doubt, go to the doctor and get an allergy test done, because when you use traditional antihistamines, they can often worsen dry eyes, because what they do is they reduce tear production. As you And that sort of makes sense, doesn't it? Because you know that when you've got hay fever, your eyes are watery, and you're taking something to stop your eyes becoming itchy and watery. But think about it this way: if you've already got the start of DED or dry eyes, or you're experiencing bouts of dry eyes, and then you go and take antihistamines for 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe a couple of months, then that could actually worsen the situation. And that's why many women find their usual allergy medications less effective, or worse still, more irritating during menopause. Or I did an experiment the other day. For 2 days I took my normal Claritin, and it hardly made any difference at all. So just be aware of that. So what can you do with all of this? If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, as I just said, first and foremost, go get a comprehensive eye exam, and preferably an advanced OCT scan as well from your regular optometrist. In addition to that, depending on what the eye exam throws up, you can have a TBUT. It's called a tear breakup time. And it's a test which measures how quickly tears evaporate. And if you have a low indication, it basically means you have a dysfunction in your meibomian gland. There's another test that you can have done, which is called Schremer's test, which evaluates tear production to determine if the lacrimal glands are underperforming. There's gland imaging, which checks for blockages or atrophy in the glands that produce the oily layer of tears. There's inflammation markers. So some eye clinics can assess inflammatory markers in tears to determine if there's chronic inflammation contributing to the dryness that you're experiencing. Ocular energy testing. If you have recurring redness and irritation, it may be beneficial to test for specific allergens. Solutions for menopausal dry eyes and ocular allergies. Just like everything in terms of health and fitness, I think that we should all be taking a multifaceted approach. One approach or one practice does not fit everybody. So when we look at the solutions here, we want to check our hydration, we want to check our hormone-friendly nutrition and targeted treatments. Here then, I'm going to give you now are some evidence-based solutions in science that can help you. Make sure you have a great diet. No, but seriously, make sure that you include flax seeds, walnuts. You need to get omega-3 fatty acids into you, because basically that helps reduce the inflammation. And it basically, you could even you reduce inflammation in the body full stop, but it can also support healthy tear production as well. Most important, lid hygiene, eyelid hygiene, essential, and warm compresses, essential. So cleaning the eyelids with some wipes, some blepharitis wipes, or gentle cleanser, using a warm compress. All of these things can help you unclog the meibomian glands, and that improves the oil flow. Lubricating eye drops, always opt for preservative-free artificial tears or lipid-based drops that mimic natural tears, preferably. Avoid at all costs drops that claim to reduce redness, as they can actually in turn cause a rebound irritation. Humidifiers and blinking exercises. Increasing moisture in your environment and consciously blinking more frequently, especially when you're using the screen all day, can help retain some hydration for the eye. HRT, Some women find that a low dose of estrogen or androgen therapy is beneficial for dry eyes, but this will need to be discussed with your doctor or healthcare provider. Anti-inflammatory eye drops. If inflammation is a major contributor and you are worried, optometrists then may prescribe very, very specific medication drops for you for short-term relief. But you will need to get a referral to an eye clinic to have an ophthalmologist properly have a look at what's going on with your eyes. Allergy management alternatives. Instead of traditional antihistamines, consider instead what we refer to as mast cell stabilizers, basically preservative-free allergy eye drops, because they're much gentler on the eyes. Reflections on the emotional and spiritual aspects of changing vision. Well, we know that menopause isn't just about a shift in hormones, it's a shift in how we see ourselves, or how we see and perceive ourselves and the world. Many women, me included, can experience changes in clarity, confidence, and perception during this time, during this transition. So adapting to the impermanence of vision, both physically and metaphorically, can be a powerful practice in embracing change with awareness. So, have you noticed changes in your vision recently, physically, mentally, or emotionally? Are you in menopause? Let's start the conversation. Feel free to leave a comment, share this with someone that you may know might be interested or suffering with their eyesight and their vision. And if you feel this was hopeful, please feel free to share it. And if you're not a subscriber, I would love you as a subscriber. Then you just get a notification when every week I drop my new podcast and piece, and you won't have to keep logging on. You'll just get it straight into your inbox. I tend to post once a week or once every 2 weeks, so your inbox won't get jammed up with newsletters. So if you feel that you would like to support my work, that would be amazing. And yeah, I hope you found that useful. It's an interesting subject to explore and debate. And until I see you and speak with you next time, thank you for listening, sharing. Nourish you with Salema Biliu, your invitation to nourishment.